Hey Alice, how are you, my friend? Good morning, good morning. Yeah, Facebook is up to something today. I'm going to tell you, there's a few changes that have been happening. Um, there's a few change. Hey Sandra, there's a few changes that have been happening on my Facebook page for my coloring books, on the one we're on right now, where you don't see it because, well, I think I switched it back, but they're going to make it so it looks a little different from the person that's managing the page. And I switched over to the new version the other day, and all it did was bug me the entire time. Isn't that awful that I get like that? But really, all it did was bug me. It bugged me because it's not allowing me to interact on the page unless I switch over or something. Like, I can't interact as myself, and I have to like switch. I don't know. There's a lot of switching. Does anybody else have a anybody that's watching have a Facebook business page? Sandra, do you have one that you manage? Hey, good morning, Mamie. So yeah, and I guess they're not sending out notifications. So I don't know. The world has gone mad, Alice, hasn't it? It's gone mad. Well, I have the good news is that I have new. We're working on Be Happy page today, so that's going to be a lot of fun. And I have new toys. I have new markers. Remember last week I was talking about markers. And hold on, I've got to adjust my lighting. Hang on one second. Hello, Scarlett. Scarlett, come on, come in here. We're doing a color along. So last week, Sandra, have you noticed any changes where it's telling you that you have to, it's going to be like a new, I don't want to say layout, format, something. It's going to switch. This is what's bugging me about it. I have two Facebook pages. One of them is for my coloring books, and then I have another one, Manera paintings. And it's so weird because when I monitor, because I'm a geek, I monitor the number of likes and the number of follows on my Facebook page. I've been doing it since 2018. I continue to do it every single day like a nerd. And I do it so that I know if what I am doing on social media is effective or if I need to back off, if I'm wasting my time or not, right? But the craziest part is that I switched over to the new version. When I switched over to the new version, it won't let me, like, I have to keep switching back and forth. Plus, you're going to have to do it though, Sandra, because it's telling me that it's just going to happen, okay? So the other part is that on my paintings Facebook page, it shows me how many likes I have. It says you have 593 likes or something, right? But then on my coloring book Facebook page, I usually track likes and followers because they're different numbers. They're not different by all too many numbers, but anyway, let me tell you, it won't let me look at the likes, and not everybody that likes your Facebook page follows your Facebook page. And the other thing, Sandra, is that this was a plus, it did allow me to invite more people, like 1,000 people, but I don't know if I was inviting people that already like the page or not. Oh, anyway, in the midst of all this is the last thing I'll say about this boring topic. Last week I actually watched a webinar by this woman that I follow. Her name is Samantha English, and if you want me to forward you the email, Sandra, I will. About how TikTok is now at the stage of Facebook that Facebook was 2 years ago, right? Or at the beginning of Facebook, right? So I did watch that about how to increase my TikTok following, and I don't know. TikTok, I've talked about TikTok, right? Chris, good morning, Chris. I've talked about TikTok before and how it's just like, I don't know, the black hole. I keep watching crazy things. What is happening? This TikTok, I don't know. It's a black hole. I think that TikTok, everybody thinks that TikTok is stupid stuff. And there's other things, but I haven't figured out what that is yet. Yeah, they're going to make you do it, Sandra. I don't know. We can figure it out together. It's just too many changes, right? It's like that song. Isn't there a song like that? Changes or something? All right, so today we are talking about be happy. So we can't be complainers because we're supposed to be happy today. I would like to see that, and I'm going to start using TikTok. Yeah, that's my project too, Sandra, is to move towards the TikTok. And I fool around with TikTok a lot where I put like dog stuff on there. And I do have some coloring book stuff, but what I really need to do is kind of like reel myself in and focus either on being funny with the dogs or focus on painting or coloring books, and I don't know. I guess I could open up a second TikTok account, but I don't even know if I'm ready for that yet. So who knows? Anyway, we can talk about it if you want to, chat about it over Messenger and figure out what we need to know. Hey, give ourselves credit though, because TikTok is for like I don't know, 30 and younger. You know, maybe even like 20 and younger. Those are the TikTokers. So at least we're willing to change. Anywho, let's move on to today's column along. Today's topic is be happy. Did I say good morning to you, Rosie? If not, good morning, Rosie. Today's topic is be happy. And this page is, here's the pages that are in the color version of the book because we kind of want to look at the colors. I have my color chart. We're going to go over what the topic is today. And hey, good morning, Miss Bev. Well, I was on the going page, come up, it had Miss. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know what's happening. A lot of changes, not a lot of notifications today, Bev Larson. So I have some new stuff today. Remember last week I was asking everybody what you think about new markers. I was looking for new markers that didn't have a lot of odor, something that I wanted to not knock me out while I'm coloring. So I went shopping on Amazon and I found a couple of cool, fun goodies. First of all, let's talk about these Amazon Basics felt tip pens. It was 12 markers. I think this was $7.99. I do not get paid for any of this. I think it was $7.99. I ordered this during the Prime days. So look at the colors. Not too bad of a selection. What I do like about these is that I thought that, yes, Alice, you are right. I thought that they were going to be more of a flare. Now, I'm not sure if you can see the difference here, but it's kind of got like a white tip. It's not completely felt. Notice it's called felt tip. It doesn't really feel like it's felt like as we know it. So I'm just going to see what happens with this. It's very, very thin. So these are good for accenting. I like the colors. They came in this nifty little box. I think I like the box more than I like the pens. But anyway, there's 12 of them. $7.99. Very good price compared to, I think they were in comparison to like a Papermate Flare. And I really wouldn't compare them to a Papermate Flare because the Flare pen on a Papermate, I think has this has more of a plasticky section here right below the felt tip. Does that make sense? So that's my first goodie. I'm going to use those to kind of accent and play around with. The other one was, I think that Chris, is it you that uses these midliners? Zebra. I had gone to Walgreens and I was looking at different markers and I saw these and they were really expensive at Walgreens and I said, I'm not paying that price for it. So I went on Amazon and I got this 3-pack for $13. It was on sale for $13. I'm not sure of the, no, I think the pens are good though, Bev, but I do like the box. I'm a box person. We're all box people, right? Does anybody else save cardboard boxes? I have my collection. My sister was telling me the other day that she broke down boxes that she had in her garage. I was like, why? Why didn't you save them? You never know when you're going to need a good box, right? Hey, good morning, Bonnie Miller. Good to see you. All right, so these are considered highlighters, right, Chris? But I like them as a marker, and I do have one. I think I have this color that, I don't know. These are cool because they have a broad tip, which is a chisel tip, and then they have, these are dual tips, right? Bev saves boxes too. Maybe it's an adult thing. I don't know what it is. I've always loved a box though, right? So we're going to use these midliners, and I'm going to accent with those. I'm going to do my color swatch chart at the end. What do you think? You know? So let's see what we've got here. First of all, let's read through all about this page that talks about being happy or be happy. And I start out in this book with a quote from Martha Washington, which I thought was very, very interesting. I think I was doing this, working on this book while I was watching that show, First Lady, by that was on Showtime. I think it was on Showtime. And Martha Washington wasn't part of this, but anyway, I thought this was interesting. Yeah, I saw the brush tips. I'm not really a fan of the brush tip markers. Well, I do have a lot of brush tip markers, Bev, so maybe it's not that. Maybe it's just that I was looking for something that was not a brush tip. That makes sense? So the quote goes on to say, I am determined to be cheerful and happy in whatever situation I may find myself. For I have learned that the greater part of our misery or unhappiness is determined not by our circumstances, but our disposition. Now, I have to say, I can crack myself up all by myself in one room. Now, does that mean I'm a little crazy? Maybe, but I really truly believe that no matter how miserable you are, there has got to be something. There's got to be something. And I know that misery comes in many levels, right? I know that some people are just in a bad situation. And I know that some people are just not doing well. I get it. I know that some people are experiencing maybe physical, emotional, or mental pain. I totally get it. I have been there. So, what happens? What do you do at that point? How do you find happiness in the meekest, in the worst circumstance, in the most miserable circumstance? What do you think? Do you see? Independent, I don't mind my own company, Bev is saying. I don't either. And that is a huge, I was just thinking the other day about, I was painting and I was thinking to myself, if I was going to think about or list all of the gifts in my life that have been given to me, or all of the things that I have been born, gifts that were given to me as I was from birth, from a higher power, from God, whatever you want to call it, okay? I think that being able to draw or paint or create anything is a huge, huge, huge gift, because I'm able to sit alone. I'm able to sit by myself. I'm able to use it as a distraction. I'm able to use it as a distraction from pain. I'm able to use it from a distraction of maybe not feeling good. No matter what is happening, I can go to that. Is it easy to get myself from that place to that place of happiness and using that as a distraction? No, not all the time. So I guess that you just have to be able to find that one thing. So let's talk about what I wrote here. So I'll read to you what I wrote here on this page. Happiness exists in the everyday moments of life. Every day, people are faced with a choice. Enjoy life or change it so you do. When you find yourself in an unpleasant situation, simply take a few breaths. Close your eyes and think of one thing that makes you happy. And that's not easy to do, right? So that's not easy to do. It's just not. But if you can just do it once, and you did it today, and you did it for this hour, and then you thought about the rest of the day as it went on, and take life baby steps, then it becomes a little more doable. Smile as you think of your happy thought and take note of how you feel. And if you are a follower or a student of the law of attraction like I am, does anybody follow law of attraction? I follow Abraham Hicks, but with the whole manifesting and being able to attract what you want in life, and it's all about a feeling. And is anybody interested in, anybody have that as an interest that's watching? When you feel yourself faced with another unpleasant situation, remind yourself of how you felt during your happy thought. Happiness is all about how you feel deep inside. And you are in complete control of your own emotions. If you look close enough, there is always something to smile about. You could have used this yesterday, Alice. I could have used this on, what the heck day was it? The other day, I could have used this. Was it Monday? Oh no, I could have used it yesterday morning too, but I could have used it on Monday for sure. So what did you do to get yourself, what does everybody do to get themselves out of it? Do you get yourself out of it? Of course you do, right? Because you do. Whether you realize it or not, you do get yourself out of it. I'm going to go by the colors that are in this book under Be Happy. So I'm going to start with some yellow up in this far corner here. Yeah, so what do you do to get yourself out of it? There's a lot of things we do, right? This is more of a gold color, but I love it. And I do have a piece of paper behind this page because I don't want to have bleed through, which is what I'm going to get, right? See? Which is what I'm going to get, is the bleed through. So, like, what do you do to get yourself out of it? You know, this page stemmed from, it was the second book I ever published. It was a kid's book called Biscuit, Balls, and Bones, A Dog's Search for Happiness. Do I have it up on the shelf? Let me get it. Let's see if I can reach it. I did some rearranging, and now everything is kind of like not in good reach. So this is where this book stemmed from. Talking to someone always helps. Yes, a dish of ice cream. I know, Bevan. You know what? I'm out of ice cream today. Oh, isn't it awful? Turn on the news. Almost everything is better than what we see. Oh my goodness, no kidding. And you know what? That's an interesting way of thinking about it, because a lot of people turn on the news and it depresses them. But you're right. Last night, here's an example, and I'll talk about this book. Here's an example. Last night, I was watching this local news guy. He's like, does talk radio in my area. And he's been doing these Facebook Live videos where there's like, he's like on the scene of different crimes that have been happening. And last week, and he's really funny. He's really humorous to listen to. Last week, he was on the scene of this guy, actually pretty close to me. He was in his house with an AR-15, and he wasn't coming out, and his wife was in there, and he was in the house for like 15 hours. But this guy that was reporting always kind of finds the humor in all of it. And last night I was watching him, and this was a perfect example of finding the silver lining, right? Finding the silver lining in the cloud. And there was a shooting, not so fun, right? There was a shooting somewhere in the city that I live in, not near me at all, a drive-by shooting, and it was in front of this church. How sad, right? It was in front of this church, and these people that were there going to church when it happened, this group of women, they were so thankful that they actually survived what had just happened, that they stood there and in a group, and in the midst of chaos. I mean, there was like police cars, there was a car with bullet holes in it, another car had crashed into a utility box, so now this whole neighborhood had no power on top of it all, and it's like 100 degrees here, right? So they were singing and praising God at that point, and singing and praying and dancing and showing their gratitude, and just showing how happy they were that they did not suffer anything bad through all of that whole experience. And it was happening in the midst of everything. It wasn't that it happened and then they went home and they just like showed their gratitude. But instead, it was in the midst of it all. And they weren't too far from it. I mean, at one point, the police had to actually say to them, you need to kind of go down. Did you hear about that, Bonnie? At one point, they had to actually, well, which one did you hear about, Bonnie? The guy in the house or the people that the shooting last night? They were, at one point, the police actually asked them to move, because they said they were in the way and they were causing a disturbance. And I just thought to myself, a disturbance? Look at these people. It must be changing the energy of the whole situation. And it was just you have to see it. It was amazing to even see it. And I think I watched it again this morning. I watched it again last night. I watched it like 2 or 3 times just to say, look at the look on the people's face in the midst of something so bad. It just was really, really, really incredible. Really incredible. And that, to me, made me think how you can just be happy. I find the news very depressing too, Chris. I hate it. What I really don't like watching is the local news. So sometimes I'll watch like YouTube, and I'll find news on YouTube so I can kind of filter what I'm watching. Yeah, everything is better. True. That's true. And I like your ice cream part. That's the ice, and the yogurt part is good too, Bev. So, Bonnie, you heard about the guy that was in his house with and they didn't make light of that one, let me tell you. That was sad, actually. That was stressful because some people were making light of it. This guy had, he had some issues, I guess, and he was in his house for like 15 hours, and it was crazy. Anyway, that is not a happy thought. But this people last night, that was incredibly, incredibly happy. It was just like, what is going on with these people? Where is their mindset? How do you get yourself to that mindset, right? How do you get yourself to that point? So back to this book. I love a sermon a few weeks ago titled, "It's Complicated, People and Situations." Really? What is that? Do you have a link to that or anything? Or tell us more about it, Rosie? So this book, Biscuit, Balls, and Bones, A Dog's Search for Happiness, was the second book that I had written, illustrated, and self-published. And here's the backstory behind this book. I was, and I'll be coloring this as I'm telling you the story. I was finishing up my master's degree in art. And this was when? 2011. I was finishing up my master's degree. And the day when for the master's degree, I decided to write a thesis. I could have done a thesis or I could have done some sort of a project. So the day before my very first class to write my thesis, to work on my thesis, or to meet with my advisor, I think it was, my dog Georgia died. And Georgia was just an incredible dog that just came into my life. She has a whole other story. I won't go into that right now. But Georgia died. I thought that I was going to die. I thought that all the color just like left my world. And I met with my advisor. And well, first I canceled my class, obviously, because it was the day she died. Then I went to class and I met with my advisor. And he said to me, "Listen, this is what you should do. You should take the death of your dog and you should channel it into something better. And you should channel it into something happy and use it as a positive. So, and use your God-given talents to create that and to create that and to deal with it. And it'll help you through the grief process. It'll help you through all of it. It'll also serve another purpose of helping you finish up your master's degree. I don't want to see this happen to you where you're not able to finish." Okay, so I was like, what the heck am I going to do? So I decided to take my dog Georgia and write a book about her. And I decided I thought about what would be this dog's message and in life. If she had something to say, if she had something to teach, what would she be able to teach me? And the first thing that came to mind, I didn't have to think about it for too long, was happiness. She was constantly searching for happiness, whether it was a biscuit or a ball or a bone or, well, food. We all know dogs love food. She was constantly looking for something to make her happy. And then one day, I think her message is that one day I realized that happiness exists all around us. So that no matter what happens, you can just kind of figure it out and be happy in any situation. And that to me was George's message. And then after that, this book went on and on. I continued to write a book after every dog died. And I made it to 3 books and wrote their message, and I don't have any, I'm behind a couple of dogs. But basically it tells the story of how a dog named Georgia realized that happiness exists in life's everyday moments. Every day dogs and people are faced with a choice. Enjoy life or change it so you do. So if you look at something close enough, there's always something to smile about. And this is Georgia, and that's she's my muse, is what she is. And I basically took it to a next level. And yeah, 2011 was when this was created. And started out with this quote: "Happiness is when you think when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony." And that's a quote by Gandhi. And dedicated it to Georgia. And it's basically simple illustrations. Georgia was a dog who enjoyed life to the fullest. And it just goes on. And I won't bore you with the reading of it. And of course, this was way back when my illustration skills were pretty bad. But this was one where she lived with her friend Willie and her friend May, and they kind of hung out and they listened to music a lot. And it was all the things that she did to make herself happy. Digging a hole, loved to dig a hole. Loved to bark, and she always had something to say. So this is basically her version of what made her happy. Bouncing balls, tons of biscuits, chew bones. Every night she would sit on the front porch with her friends, which Scarlett and Paisley do that now. We've continued that tradition. Sit in her favorite chair, which I still have that chair. Splashed in the mud. Like to splash in the mud. She loved to go for a ride in the car. And this is fun because this is an actual painting that Georgia did with her tail. And here's some paintings that I had done. And I would lay the piece of paper on the floor. I would put some paint on her tail, and I would just tell her to make her wag her work. And she would wag, 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 wag. And this is an actual painting I have hanging up. And she painted that herself with her tail. And then one day she realized her life was perfect. So that was kind of a spin-off. This page is kind of a spin-off of that. So what do you think? I mean, what happens? I mean, the world is such a scary place. You're right, Bonnie. It is very scary. But how do you make it not scary? How do you, like, find your own... I want to say utopia, but is it a utopia we're looking for? I'm not sure. I'm going to move on to a different yellow, by the way. I am going to kind of, like, add that color there. Do these have names on them? I'm not sure. No, they don't. And most of it is in Japanese. My Japanese is rough today, so I'm not really able to do that. I'm going to go with this other yellow color, which is more of a highlighter yellow, right? I always wonder, though, about these markers. Like, I mean, how are they as actual highlighters? Like, look at that dark color right there. But I do like how we have this really bright yellow. It's kind of a fluorescent yellow. So, I mean, there's always something to be grateful for. We've talked about that at the last color along. And I think that happiness goes hand in hand. I mean, there's always something to laugh about, right? To crack up over. Like Bev said, independent. I'm going to move to this one right now. Haven't had to move on to the skinny tip yet. It almost looks like a green in a way, doesn't it? They have teeny tiny codes that indicate the color. Really? Where? Not under the barcode, is it, Chris? These are very nice. I like them because they don't have an odor. I also like them because, I mean, I've used that other color before. And, you know, to me, they're almost like alcohol markers. So, they had another, I think they had more colors, too. This was kind of like the deal of whatever I was looking for. MK1234. Where is that? Oh, I see it now. No. Do I see that? I see WKT7-MGO. Do you think that that's it, Chris? Do I need to go get my magnifying glass? Or my binoculars or something? Even binoculars would help. Does anybody have binoculars? I was thinking I need binoculars. Binoculars, I don't know. There was something else I was going to order the other day on Amazon and said, do I really need that? It was some survival kit or something. It had a lot of interesting things inside it. So listen to this crazy thing that happened to me last night. So last night I am outside in my driveway. I'm taking out my trash to the street. It's trash pickup day today. And here I am grabbing my trash cans. All of a sudden, this guy pulls up. I'm going to switch to a different color, by the way. What color should I switch to for these? 1, 2. I don't know. It's perplexing, isn't it? Maybe we'll just add this little pink color in there just to kind of shake things up. All right, so I'm taking out my trash, and all of a sudden, this guy pulls up, and he says he's riding a bicycle. He looks like he's a little rough around the edges, a little on the fringes. Probably looked like he was, well, I don't want to judge. Maybe he was homeless. He definitely looked a little rough. However, it was also very hot outside, so I think I looked rough at that point too. So Here he is on his bicycle. He has a weed whacker that he's riding his bicycle with, and he's got a leaf blower, the kind that hooks to your back, that backpack style leaf blower. And I think he had like a bag or something. And he's riding his bicycle down the street, and all of a sudden, here he comes, and he says to me, I do yard cleanups. He said, do you need anything done? And I said, well, I do need a few things done. I said, but, you know, like, how much do you charge? At this point, I'm thinking to myself, this guy, maybe he looks like he could be begging for money on the corner with a little cardboard sign. But I got to give him credit. He's making the rounds. He's making an effort. It's like 90 plus degrees outside. Here he is. He's willing to work for some money. So he says to me, what do you need done? And I said, well, I have this like whole, like these weeds along my driveway. How much would you charge me? And he said, oh, well, he's just looking, a lot of poison ivy. I said, yeah, there's a lot of poison ivy. I said, well, I'm going to tell you, I don't have any cash on me right now, so I can't do this today. Oh, well, you don't have $20? No, I don't have anything. I really don't have any cash on me, which is the truth. I didn't have any cash on me. Okay. Well, okay, I'll do it for $100. I said, I'm telling you, I don't have any cash on me. I said, do you have a phone number? I'll call you and you can come back in a few days. Maybe we can talk about it. I don't have a phone number. I said, okay. I said, well, I don't know what to tell you. He said, well, you got to have something. He said, I have 3 kids. Now he gets all like, oh my God. I have 3 kids, he said, and they really don't have anything to eat. I said, you have 3 kids and you have no food. I have nothing. I have no food. Is there any way you can help me at all? I said, you know what? I said, I don't have any cash on me. I said, but I have food. I'll give you some food. No, I don't want any food. I said, no, I really will. I'm going to go get a loaf of bread for you, some peanut butter. I'll give you some pasta, like not anything like refrigeratable, for the refrigerator. I said, I'm going to go get you some food. And I'll give you some food so you can bring home. I don't want any of your food. And he walked away. I said, why not? You don't even have to do the work. I'll just give you the food. No. I have no way to carry it. And then he just rode into the sunset, as they say. And what do you think about that? Did he want the food? Did he just want money? And even if he did want money, at least he was going to work for it rather than begging for it on the street. There's so many people that beg for money around here. But I was willing to give him food. But he did not want it at all. Anyway, that was my adventure last night. All I did was go outside. All I did was venture outside into my driveway. After that, a million things happened. I don't even remember the rest of the night, but it was a crazy... Do you ever have days where you're like, Calgon, take me away? He wanted money, Sandra's saying. If he had kids, he would have taken the food. I think so too. I agree with you, Sandra. However, I do give him credit for actually wanting to work it off. Because he could have just been asking me for money. But here he was with this blow. And actually, now that I think about it, maybe the blower was stolen. Because it was one of those like backpack ones. Here he is on a bicycle. But at least he wanted to make some money. Of course, part of me didn't want to have him do any work in my yard. Because I thought to myself, this guy's going to do some work. He's going to cut his finger. He's going to end up in the hospital. He's going to sue me. You know, you got to be careful. Why is it? It's terrible, right? If he actually had hungry kids, he would have taken the food. Yes, I agree. I agree. He would have. But the other part was that he was going to work it off. Or was I being fooled? Had the heat gotten to me at that point and said, you're being a fool? You know, maybe it did. Maybe the heat was like, go inside. Go back into the air conditioning. Cool your brain. I mean, maybe I was just feeling bad. I'm usually the sucker, you know. Just like I'm the person that puts out water for the birds when it's hot. So, I don't know. He didn't have a family, Alice is saying. He was playing on your sympathy. He wanted the money for alcohol or drugs. I think so, too. I agree with you. But what do you think about the fact that he really just wanted to work it off? Do some work to get it. Probably would have collapsed in my driveway. So hot. I mean, what are you doing? He definitely did have some struggles. Kind of felt bad for him. I wasn't mad. I really felt sorry for him because I went back inside and sat down in my air-conditioned house, you know? So you have to just think to yourself, here I am complaining about fill in the blank, right? And there's always somebody that is in worse shape. And maybe your stresses are making you happy, are making you unhappy. And in the grand scheme of things, they're not that great. However, I also believe that even though what you may feel is a problem and is making you upset and maybe not so happy and you're struggling with, is still the same. It's equal to what someone else, it's the same, it's still valid. That's the word I'm looking for. What do you think about that? And what do you do to get yourself out of that? I mean, we all know that Bev eats ice cream, which I love. And I have no more ice cream, which is so upsetting. Oh, whipped cream. Whipped cream is the other one. You know, if I was a dog, I would be eating a biscuit. And I think you just kind of have to find that thing that is going to make you happy. Do you crack yourself up? Can you... I gotta say, I do crack myself up. The other day, I did wonder, what have I done? Thank you, Alice. I wanted to offer food for two reasons. That if there really was someone that was hungry, then I want to offer them the food. The other part is that it was kind of my test to see, you know. I think that he thought that he was going to have to do the work, though. As he walked away, I really believe that maybe he did not understand that I was saying, here's the food, but you don't have to work it off. Maybe he thought, I'm going to do all this work for a loaf of bread. Did somebody send an angry face? Maybe it was a mistake. I don't know. Sometimes that happens. It's okay. Or maybe they're angry about the guy and what he said. I don't know. What do you think? So, I'm trying to think of other things that I do to just like make myself... Oh, music. Music is a huge, huge, huge thing to make me happy. Different types of music. Even if I don't know about them, at least kind of learn about them. Yesterday, I was listening to, it's not that I've never heard of her before, but yesterday I was listening to Lizzo. I don't usually listen to her, or maybe I have never really completely listened to her. So, I decided to listen to her. But let me tell you something. I liked the beat, I liked the actual music itself, but the lyrics were ridiculous. But it was fun. Dancing is another way. Got to get yourself moving. And I never really did that, the moving thing. Thank you, Chris. Chris is saying, I'm a firm believer. I'm a firm believer in cutting toxic and negative people out of your life. I, at the age of 57, have learned that misery loves company and I refuse to allow anyone to bring me down. Me too, Chris. You said it, sister. Let me tell you. Bev is saying, I don't trust that people asking for money only want it for booze or smokes, which I am not buying for them. I would rather buy them food. Yes, I agree with you. But, you know, people have trouble. You know, that's a monkey on your back, don't you think? If you've never, I mean, I've had some family members that have had that as an issue. And that is if you can break through an addiction like that and be able to continue on, you know, then that's amazing. Because it's easy to just kind of say, I'm just going to go have a drink and I'm just going to do the, you know, it's easy to just kind of like fall without having to, you know, take responsibility for all of it or... Some of the people begging for money on the street have better shoes than mine. Oh, well, let's not even go there about the shoe thing, Bev. I agree with you. I looked at my shoes today and said, holy mackerel. Yeah, they do. I agree with you. Some of them probably get them for free, though, Bev. You know? They probably get them for free. They probably get a lot of things for free. Probably get a lot of food for free, whether it's food pantries or, you know, whatever it is. There's this woman in my neighborhood, actually, and she gets, like, the overflow of food that is supposed to go to some food pantry, and she puts it out on her front lawn a couple of times a week, and then puts a thing on Facebook, a little notice on Facebook, and says it's out, the food is there. And the amount of people that go to her to get this food is incredible, incredible, incredible. So, you know, and I volunteer for a church, a local church, and I do their web design and graphic design work for them. And they have a food pantry where the food is incredible, and then they also have a thrift store, which stuff is like 50 cents. It's ridiculously cheap. I've allowed it to happen to me many times. Chris is saying, I live alone and cannot afford to have drama or negativity in my world. You know, I think that there's nothing wrong with that. I agree with you. I'm like that too. I don't feel like hearing people's drama. You know, I mean, I'll listen to your problems and I'll help you with it, but I don't want to hear like crazy drama. Rosie says, I joked with my son saying she has bang, bang. Bang, bang, she shot me down, right? Had to Google and let him listen to it. Shooting, not funny, but it gave us a giggle. Yeah, that song is good. Or how about Jesse James? I listen to Cher a lot, actually. Bev Larson saying a lot of these food places that, though, don't give good food, mainly pasta. Yes, I agree with you. They give a lot of junk, right? Pasta, yeah, peanut butter. I know. Isn't it crazy? And, you know, sometimes I look at, like, land around me, and I just think to myself, you know, that should be like a good place that you could just grow a lot of food. I'm going to use this lavender color next on this one right here, I believe. Alice is saying that a lot of people around here are breaking cars and stealing stuff. Yeah, same thing here. They steal catalytic converters, or they break into cars. Last night there was a car stolen in my neighborhood from a florist. This is ridiculous, if you ask me. From a florist with the logo on it, like a full florist van with the name of it, the phone number, everything. Someone stole it. I mean, what was the state of mind that person was in when they did that? Did they not realize that this van was a clear-cut giveaway of who like, you're not going to go hide somewhere with that. Yeah, people are struggling, right? People are struggling. So now all of this, right, all of that being said, I mean, there's fires happening, there's heat waves, there's expensive food, there's inflation, there's high prices of gas, which I got to get gas today, I can't forget. What is that happy silver lining? Like, you've got to do something in the midst of all of this. You can't dwell on it. Chris says she doesn't watch the news, right? Hates watching the news. I don't like to watch the news either. I don't like to listen to all of the, you know what makes me really like an anxious feeling too, and makes me really sick, is listening to the news or, the news reports telling me how hot it's going to be. Now, I understand that we have to have a heat advisory if it's really hot, but do we really need to tell people to drink water? I mean, I don't understand. Or they keep saying it over and over and over and over and over and over. It reminds me of like when there's going to be a blizzard. I mean, how much do we need to actually keep saying it? Maybe I don't need to listen to it all the time though, right? Maybe that's my problem. I mean, maybe you need to keep saying it because not everyone's going to hear it, but it is a little extreme. And people do crazy things when it's hot. All right, so I've got this purple going on. Now I'm going to move over to this one. What do you think about this page or this topic? Be happy. So we're continuing on with this this book, right? We're going to continue on. Next week we'll color the words page for Be Happy. And you know what I'm going to do for this one? I am going to leave the middle of it white. Because I've seen a lot of people do that. And I really love how it looks. So I'm going to leave the middle of this white. Bev says, well, I say keep your doors locked when you drive. A 28-year-old girl on the highway dragged a 72-year-old woman from her car and drove off. Caught her because she went wrong way up a ramp. Oh, my goodness. Don't focus your energy on the negative stuff. You got it, Chris. You know? You got to think of happy things. And you know, the other day, speaking of like the negative stuff, I was trying to find something to watch on Netflix. And like, talk about negative. I can't watch one more show, let me tell you, that is all about crime, shootings, drugs. What's happy? Does anybody have any recommendations of what to watch that's happy? I guess I need to go back to just watching regular TV and watch, you know, Everybody Loves Raymond over and over. Or Andy Griffith. There's one, right? Back then. Alice is saying, my neighbor said yesterday, I take cans back because for some reason I don't have any money. I told her everything is going up and she's not alone. Yeah, right? You're right. Everything is going up. I just ordered, just did an online order actually. I'm surprised they haven't texted me. For food shopping today, and I gotta tell you, that order, I think that what I ordered is like $30 higher than it used to be. Maybe like, what's this, July, maybe like in April, I would have spent $30 less. It's incredible, isn't it? But Downton Abbey is uplifting. I agree. I haven't watched those two movies, though. Well, I watched one, but I haven't watched the latest. I agree with you, Chris. Totally, totally love it. Have you watched the movie Persuasion? The world isn't in a good place right now. People weather everything. I agree with you, Bev. People just need to, I don't know what it is. And part of it is the news. I mean, right? Part of it is the news. You know it. Prices up, downsizing the amount in cans. Yeah, the other day I opened something up and there was like, I don't know, about an inch less. I forgot what it was. Maybe it was coffee. Didn't go all the way to the top like it usually does. But do we dwell on that? Or do we just say, you know, we're going to get through this, right? We are going to make it through. We're not going to dwell on it. There is enough, right? There's always enough. If you live in lack, right? If you live with the mindset of that you are lacking, then you will always lack. If you're living in the mindset of you never have enough money, then you'll never have enough money. So you have to live in the mindset of, I have enough, right? There is always enough. And enough of what? Enough love, enough money, enough food. It's hard to find good shows to watch, Alice is saying. Some companies are charging surcharge for gas online too. Oh, I saw that. Yeah, I did see that. That's crazy, isn't it? I ended up, I didn't have time today I don't know what it was about today, but I wanted to, I was going to do curbside pickup, but I opted for delivery. I know, I probably shouldn't have done that, but sometimes I opt for the delivery part. Good morning, Pamela. Bev is saying companies are after the mighty buck, and people have to be careful about everything they buy. Make sure you really need stuff. Don't waste stuff. Yes, it's funny because I tease my mom sometimes, and she'll throw something away and I'll give her a hard time and say, we are in a pandemic. Times are tough. What are you throwing this away for? And then I tease her that we're going to make like breadcrumbs out of our, you know, the heel of the bread or something. I just say, I'm not paying that. I'll find it cheaper somewhere else. Yeah, you do. That's what I say too, Alice. You have to really kind of look. You have to definitely shop around. And I think if you do shop around, you can definitely find a deal. I think that one of the places that I really missed was Dollar General near me. And they had closed for a while. I feel like I talk about this a lot. Anyway, I discovered that I was probably buying things for more money since they closed. And now they've reopened, so I'm back in business. How's it going, Pamela? I guess there's notifications that are not being sent out today. I don't know why. Blame it on change. Blame it on Rio, as they say, right? So I'm going to go back into my tiny areas of this page with my Amazon Basics felt tip pens. So how did you get yourself out of the whole funk yesterday, Alice? You had mentioned that you could have used this page yesterday and used this attitude yesterday. Oh, that's right. Did you have surgery on your foot, Pamela? Coloring helps me find my joy. Doesn't it? Isn't it incredible? Me too. Painting. I'm working on this new painting, actually. I'm going to enter it into a contest for animals. And I don't know. I'm hoping I'm going to be done with it in time. I have to submit it by July 29th. I've got a lot more left to do. I've been posting progress reports of it. All right, I'm going to break out my basics. Thank you, Pamela. These are my new markers. They're midliners. I bought them the other day. They're actually highlighters. And I bought these Amazon Basic felt tip pens, these were like $7.99 on Amazon. I'm going to take this bright yellow one next. And I'm going to go in the middle of the purples and the blues. And then as far as the pinks, maybe I'll do orange on the other ones. But I'm going to go with this bright yellow on the purples and the blues. It's purple and reds. Oh, no, really? Alice is saying when I'm stressed or don't feel good, I color. That is so good to hear. When I'm stressed or I don't feel good, I draw. Now I'm going to do orange in the middle of this green one. In this one too. This is more of a red, isn't it? Well, not really, but it looked like it was almost like a red color. So as I'm using these, I am discovering that this is really a felt tip, right? This is really felt, but still has that plasticky part right there. You can see it. There's like a plasticky section. And Bonnie Miller would like this. There's periwinkle. How about that? Well, it looks like lavender to me, but I'm kind of thinking it is a periwinkle color. But when you color with it, it's a darker color. So I'm going to use these berries as my darker color. But I am going to leave, I'm going to leave this white. This is my supermarket order. Hold on a second. Oh my goodness. Let's make sure everything's in stock. Great news. Okay. My order is on track. Sometimes they'll text me and say something's out of stock, and then I can give them options. So that's another thing that I am grateful for, and I was thinking to myself the other day that I know how to do. I know how to order things online. Some people don't know how to order something online, so I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Thanks, Pamela. Aren't the colors pretty? Well, I'm kind of basing it off the color version of my book. Of course, we have to talk about what color she's going to have on her body. All right, I've got some other parts here that still need to be kind of filled in. Let's move on to this neon yellowish color for the middle of this yellow. And I'm not gonna worry about those three little balls in there, those three little circles. Yay for periwinkle, right, Bonnie? I think there's a periwinkle in this too, isn't there? Yes, there is. There it is. There's periwinkle. Yay for periwinkle. And I'm gonna take this orangey color and go in the middle here. We've got to do the other end though. Just on a couple of these. A couple of those, and then maybe this one. Now, we've got these, like, you know, crazy, like little dots on there. And I'm going to go with a darker color on those. So let's talk about, let's see if this will work. I've got this hot pink color. Yeah, not too bad. Okay. There's my hot pink color on top of the reds. Can you see the difference? What does it mean when above your name it says anniversary follower? I don't know. Where does it say that, Alice? Is it my anniversary? Is it your anniversary of following me, maybe? My dogs, I have 2 dogs actually, Pamela. They're good. Is it where it has that little, oh, here it is. Having a badge on Facebook tells something interesting about you. Alice is an anniversary follower. I don't know. Does anybody know what that means? Pamela has one that is a 5. She's an anniversary follower also. Oh, all right. So there's a number. Does it mean you've been following my Facebook page for 5 years or 4 years? Does anybody else have that? Chris has a 2. It must be 2-year anniversary. Bev doesn't have anything. Bev, are you a follower of my Facebook page? I thought you were. Sandra has a 4. Interesting. That must be new. I must be that it's showing how many years you've been following me. Oh my goodness. You've only been following me for 2, Chris? Oh, that doesn't seem right. Bonnie Miller's a 5. Wow. Well, my Facebook page was started in 2014. Coloring books was started because I started it as long-term follower. Well, thank you to everybody. Pamela's a 5 also. This Facebook page was started in 2014. But then in 2015 is when I started coloring books. So before 2015, it had a different name. I just think it called, I don't even know what I had called it at that point. And then I had changed it to Ann Manera's Coloring Books. I thought about changing it again, but I don't think I want to. Oh, look, I missed this pink flower. But nobody even said anything. How nice of you all to not point out my mistakes. That's right, because those are the only pink ones, right? All right, so now we've got the purple ones. And I'm going to go with this periwinkle color because I like how it looked over there. Just to kind of darken these little circles. 5 years does go by fast, doesn't it? Coloring book. I've been doing coloring books for 7 years now. I can't even believe it. 7 years. And color-alongs. Whew. Oh, that's why, Chris. Yes, and Bev has followed me for a long time, too. I know. Who cares what that says, right? Yeah, there's a lot of new recent updates. Isn't it crazy, Pam? It's driving me nuts. And not everybody has got the update. That's the other part that's driving me a little crazy. Is that some people have the update, some people do not. All right, so this is finished for the flowers. Now let's move on to this girl. And she looks like she's wearing a yellow shirt in this picture. So I'm going to go with this kind of mustardy yellow that's right here. And what I really like about these midliners too is it's similar to a alcohol marker. They don't really leave too many streaks when you're coloring with them, especially if you don't press down a lot. "70 years goes fast." I'll remember that, Bev. I'll remember that. I know, right? I forget how old I am. And then I think, whew, really? Already? Oh, it's crazy. I had a friend that for a long time, she thought that she was 2 years younger than she really was. It was so funny. Like, she lived like a good 5 years thinking she was 2 years younger. Cracked me up. All right, I'm going to give her a little bit of pink trim here. And I'm going to go with the hot pink pocket. because, you know, why not? Maybe she has a lot of money in that pocket. With her hot pink pocket. Now, you know, I've talked about this before, right? That I tried really hard to make sure that the people in this book were not the typical color of people, right? That were different color, well, different, not the typical color of people. There were different colors, you know? That were different color skins to represent everybody, but this one right here, I don't really have a good color right here for the skin. So I'm going to use this orangey color, and then let me see if I can go back in. Did you see Faber-Castell has some new pencils that are people colors, actually. And the other thing I saw, too, was that Faber-Castell is doing a 5-day camp. Did you see that? 5-day camp for kids, actually. I thought about doing coloring camp again, by the way, but I don't know if anybody's interested. My things were getting a little busy for me over the past few months, so that's why I kind of pulled back on a lot of things. But things are getting a little better. Things are not as crazy as they were, so. Dress her in black and yellow like a bumblebee. Oh, that would be funny, right? I could put black pants on her. I think I will. You gotta love black pants. So the other thing that I tried doing too with these people is to not have them have, well, you think camp too, Sandra? Sandra's saying yes. I thought about doing it in September. That's what I was thinking. I'm doing a drawing workshop actually on every other Saturday starting on July 30th. So not this Saturday, but the following Saturday. So I've got a drawing workshop coming up if anyone's interested. And we meet every other Saturday at 10 a.m. And then the other thing that I'm doing for August is on Fridays starting on August 5th, I'm doing another needle felting class. So I have 4 different projects that class is going to be working on. So if anybody's interested in that, that's what's happening with that. Should I give her some yellow here? Maybe. Maybe she went a little crazy here and decided that, you know, she wanted to color her hair all different colors. You think fall camp would be great? Oh, brown and yellow like Charlie Brown. Well, look at her pants in this. It's like a brick. Yeah, I did think about doing it. All right, so let's talk about fall camp. So should I do, I think 7 days is a stretch, to be honest with you. It's a lot. It's, I don't know. What do you think? Was it too much? I thought about doing it at night. I don't know if I can make it, though, at night. Tell me what your thoughts are about it. I'm going to use this reddish color for her pants. And then I'm going to go over it with yellow. You know, I decided, Pam, to start to focus more on some classes than books. I am going to be working on another Frenzy style book, though, or a View style book. Because so many people have been posting things. I mean, Rosie's pages, Rosie, the pages that you've been posting have just been incredible. So I am going to try to work on another one of those books. But I want to just kind of focus on some classes too, because they're fun. 5 days or a long weekend maybe. 5 days, 7 days, whatever you want. Not at night. Okay. I don't really want it to be at night either, Sandra. By 6 o'clock, I'm exhausted. I don't know about you. I really am so incredibly tired. Like, I mean, I guess it's normal, right? I'm not, like, burning the midnight oil. I want to go to sleep at night is what I want to do. I would go with the 10. I like the 10 o'clock time slot. I kind of like the 5 days versus the 7. So I think it should be 5 days. So we're thinking 5 days. Should we make notes here? I guess I should, right? Let me see if I have a piece of paper that I can scribble some notes on. No, I don't have to have a piece of paper. I can write it down on my desk. Yeah, you want to go to... I do. I want to go to sleep at night. I don't want to be awake. I had trouble sleeping last night. It was driving me nuts. I could not fall asleep, And I realized it was because my blood sugar was too low. I get tired very easily too, let me tell you. It doesn't seem like it, but I really do. And after a live video, if you have ever done live classes or live, live video especially. All right, so I'm going to write it down on here because I have this desktopper is a dry erase board. All right, so we got 5 days. We're thinking September. What do you think about this? One of the things that really annoys me about when I do camp is that the books. Because I'm relying on books from Amazon. What if the book was a book you could print yourself instead of getting the camp book? What do you think about that? What do you think about a PDF? We could call this fall camp. I'm tired a lot lately. It's probably the heat, Bev is saying. Yeah, I am too. I guess it is the heat. It's everything though, right? It's the whole world. All right, so she's finished. I'm not going to add anything to the background. I'm going to leave this with a white background. And then next week, we are going to work on the page with the words. But what I want to make sure I do is make sure that I have all my colors here. You prefer the book? I do prefer the book too. I really do. I wonder if I can get a book printed in a different way. The Amazon kind of bugs me sometimes when it comes to some of the ways that they print, waiting for their books. So I've got to take another look at the book part. Whether it'll be on Amazon or I print it. Maybe saying she wants the book too. So we have a lot of people interested. So what topics? Tell me some topics while we're here, since we're already talking about it. Tell me some topics that you might be interested in. We always kind of do some tutorials. Let's see, I gotta write down what I used on here. We used midliners and Amazon Basics felt tips. Pamela's saying, I lead book clubs that last an hour and a half. Do you do them online or in person? And I'm exhausted afterwards, but I have been off work for 5 months. Yeah, it is too, I agree. The only thing I would do is see if I can get it printed like a spiral bound book or something. Because there is another company that I can use. It's just sometimes Amazon is not reliable. Depends. They're very you know. Yeah, it's when you're the leader of the group. Sandra can probably attest to this too. When you're the leader of the group and you're teaching something, right? Especially online, because there's a lot of technology happening. Like when you're using Zoom and, you know, a lot of tech happening. The other part too is that when I'm doing a color along, I'm not complaining by the way, but when I'm doing a color along, there's lighting and it's hot. And so it's really hot in here right now, only because of all the lights. And my lighting is still not that great. Spiral is good. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to post something in the coloring group. Oh, in person, online during COVID. Oh, how cool. I always wanted to join a book club, but it was always at the wrong time, Pam. It was always like there's a book club in my area at a local library, but it's at night. It's like 7 o'clock at night. And I'm like, I don't really want to do it at 7 o'clock at night. I would do it during the day. Layering and blending colors. Oh, let's move this book over so we can write down the topics on my dry erase board. I bought this dry erase board at Lowe's, by the way. $6. It's like, oh my goodness, 2 feet by 30 inches maybe, 24 by 30 I think. 24 inches by 30 inches, only $6. And then the other side of it is a chalkboard. All right, so our topics. This is how the planning stage starts, by the way, with the dry erase board. Alice is saying layering and blending. Pencils. Did you see the topic in the new color long book? One of them is silly putty. Texturing surfaces. How about 90-minute rehearsals online? Sandra's saying for the past 2.5 years, we are going to have hybrid rehearsals starting in September. In person for kids that have been vaccinated. Others haven't been online in a while with us. My son warned me that this will be a challenge for my brain. I agree with him. When it's, you know what it reminds me of, Sandra? It reminds me of when I did that needle felting class that you were in, actually, and we did, I did it on Zoom and Facebook at the same time, and I thought my brain was going to crack open. That was too much and too many different, like, you need to all be in one place, is what I say, when it comes to online platforms. Like, you can't have, like I know somebody that does live streams on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch at the same time. And he's bouncing between the comments on all three. I just can't do it. So I'll put a post in the coloring group about coloring camp for September. See what kind of interest we get. See what kind of interest everyone, if people are interested still. Same format, right? Thank you, Sandra. It was a lot, right? And then there were people that weren't live. Oh, and then there was one person that took that class that wasn't even online at all. And she was just watching from Zoom, but she was texting me on my phone, on my cell phone. So there was 3 different things I was managing, actually. That was crazy. I'm surprised I didn't stab myself. Yeah, interactive Zoom is fun. You know, it would be fun. Do we want Zoom for camp? Do we want Zoom for that? There's a question. Do we want to do Zoom for coloring camp? What do you think? Have you ever been to coloring camp, Bev? I thought you did. Yeah, multitasking has always been my thing, but lately, I don't know. Lately, it's been more like, if there's too much noise happening. Like one day I was working on my computer, I was trying to do something, and I think I was trying to balance a checkbook. And the dogs were barking, my neighbor was playing loud music, and it was like, enough. Like I felt like I was being, you know, I can't watch TV. You can watch TV, color, and crochet. I can't watch TV. Facebook for camp, or if on Zoom, only you talk. Good point. Let's just stick with Facebook. Let's not do Zoom. Good point. Too many people chatting. Just needs to be me. Yeah, it'll just be me. It'll just be Facebook. All right. I'm going to put a post in the, I get it, Bev. I'm going to put a post in the Facebook coloring group and Just Color. And I'm going to talk about coloring camp, get some feedback from people, see what we want to do, and get some comments back for topics. Get some suggestions back for topics. In the meantime, so we'll kind of do all that part of it, and I'll plan everything out. And then what is this? This is July 20th. So if we did something in September, we need to look at the calendar, and I'll be able to get the book out like in a month. Like a month ahead of time to get the book out so people have time to purchase the book and all of that. Anyway, that's all the back end stuff. You guys don't need to really worry about all that stuff. All right, so we've got Be Happy next week. We're going to be working on the one with the words. So just remember, there's got to be something that you can find in one little speck of something, in the cloud of something, to be happy about. Something that's going to make you happy. And just remember that feeling about how you felt when you were happy. Because it's all about whatever the feeling is. Excuse me, it's all about whatever that feeling is and how it made you feel. It's like wishing for something, trying to manifest something, all trying to make sure that you want to make sure you have that feeling, that same exact feeling. So go on with your day, put a smile on your face somewhere throughout the day. I hope everyone stays cool. I hope everyone has a great day. And of course, thanks so much for joining me today. I always appreciate it. I will see everyone next week. Hey, have a great day, everyone.